Hey everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel. I'm Heather and today we are going to be discussing all of the sewing plans I have for June 2025. May was a really big month for me, so I'm excited to kind of dive back in fresh here, put some fresh eyes on things. If you missed a lot of what was going on in May or are new to the channel, I basically did my first series on this channel. It was my first series. It was my first time doing vlogging, like a sewing vlog where I'm actually filming the process. And it was my first time sewing with a trip in mind. So it was just a whole new experience, really, really fun. And we got some great footage of what I made for Italy in Italy, which I shared in the last couple vlogs. So I'll leave a link overhead and down below either of the playlist or of one of those videos so you can check it out if you missed it. It was a lot of fun and I'm excited to do some more sewing vlogs in the future. But today it's all about the plans and I've always got quite a list that I will probably miss a couple of these, but I'm going to at least show you my ideas, my thoughts, and I'm really excited. So we're going to just jump right in. I know I kind of briefly touched on wanting to do this in a video. I don't remember what video I was talking about this in, but the first thing I want to make is a look for my garden. Something with denim. I do have a fabric I'm going to show you here, but my original thought was I just wanted some really cute overalls. I had seen a girl post a while back some overalls she made that were in a denim with embroidered bumblebees that she got at Joann's, and I was obsessed, but obviously we all know the story with Joann's, and my family was able to go for me back in the States a few times, but they didn't find that one. But my husband did find a really good alternative, which is what I plan to use, and I'm going to show you now. And that is this denim with printed cherries. So even though it's not the bumblebees, I thought this is a really good alternative, right? Cherries still grow in a garden potentially. So I'm excited to make something with this. I think I have 3 yards, I believe is what I had my husband grab. And I've got a few patterns here. So initially I was gung-ho. It is going to be McCall's 8162, this very traditional, dungaree overall look, which I don't think you can go wrong. I think it would be adorable. But then I started flipping through my stash and I found a couple other things that got my wheels turning. And that is this McCall's 7908. In this view down here, this view B, that is the sleeveless. And then I also looked at McCall's 8101 view C. Now, I think this calls for 1/8 of a yard more than what I have, but I don't know the width of it. If it's a 60-inch, I can squeak it out of there. So I just wasn't sure. Should I go for like a little more modern take on that style, where it's not quite an overall exactly, but kind of more of a denim jumpsuit? Or do I go the traditional route? I'm not really sure. I think either way I go, I'm probably going to like it. So let me know your thoughts down below if you think either of those might be kind of a more fun or cooler option, or if the cutesy traditional denim overalls are a classic and that I need to make those. Okay, the next piece I plan to make is going to be very familiar for those of you that did watch the series on sewing for the Italian road trip, because I am going to make McCall's 7606 in view C again, but not for me this time. My mother loved that skirt, and unfortunately I cannot find more of that fabric here because I do shop very locally, and they tend to just kind of get something in once and you don't generally see it again in a lot of the local shops. And so unfortunately there was no more of the fabric that I had. So when I was in Italy, I stopped by a few fabric stores to just try to find something kind of special that, came from somewhere abroad. Obviously I don't get to Italy as much, so I stopped at several stores before I found something I liked. I did go with another rayon/viscose. I just like the weight for this skirt because I think it gives it a lot of movement. And I thought this is a really beautiful alternative. It is not the same color palette by any means, but there's something very luxe and kind of expensive about the tones and the print and even just the finish on this, which I know is probably hard to pick up in the camera, but it's got a really expensive kind of look to the finish of this. So surprise, Mom. She knows I was going to make a skirt. She knows I got fabric in Italy, but she hasn't seen it yet. I'm sure she's watching. So this is the fabric I found. I think it's really pretty and it's going to work really well for that. So that's the second thing I plan to make. This is sort of a late Mother's Day present because I wanted to make the other one, but like I said, I couldn't find the fabric. So it's been kind of waiting until I can find it, and now I did, and that's what I'll be making. All right, so this next piece I plan to make is already cut out and partly sewn for the month, so it's already underway, and that is Simplicity 9749 in this view C. Now, I'm gonna be honest, when I purchased this pattern, I thought, I'm not sure if this triangle cutout is for me. I will probably go with view D. You've heard me say this before, I'm not a big mid-drift shower, and the triangle, I couldn't decide if I liked it really or not for me personally. I do love some of the other views though, so I knew I would make this, but I found a print at the store the other day and I thought, oh my gosh, if I was ever gonna do this triangle cutout, to me, this would be the cutest summery print that would make sense with this. And so now I'm actually doing the triangle cutout first of all things. So let me show you the fabric I've got set aside for that. So this is the peplum piece sewn together already, but it is just this sunny, oops, kind of upside down, but sunny, colorful, summer fruit print that I just thought, I don't know, I could totally see poolside, chilling when you're not actually in the swimsuit, wearing something really, I mean, it's really fun and kitschy, but I don't know, I saw this print and I thought, you know what, those two would be so fun and playful together. So like I said, this is already in the works. The top is mostly done. I basically have attaching this peplum, inserting a zip, and attaching the sleeves left. And then that one will be a wrap for the month. So this will be done very, very soon. Okay, so the next few pieces I'm gonna kind of skim through quickly because there are some stipulations, I suppose, with all of these. So the first one is, a lot of you know I am really on a mission to learn to pattern make, and actually fashion design has always been a goal of mine from a very young age. So it's kind of the year I've been diving into that. So I want to do a self-drafted piece this month. I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit in the chaos of trying to plan this entire Italy series, honestly. And I'm not mad about it. I love the pieces that got made for that. So I am very glad that I did that. But now I'd like to get back into that. So I don't know what the piece is going to be yet. Actually, now that I say that, I think I do know what the piece would be. Let me grab the fabric. Okay, so this is actually kind of part of my plans for the month now that I think about it. A lot of you know that we were supposed to go to Paris. I did an entire dress made for Paris as well, and I got super sick and we had to postpone our trip, it was just so not fun to have to replan the entire trip. We had hotels booked, we had everything booked. Thankfully, we got really lucky with a lot of things we had paid for being able to get refunded, but that was a bit stressful, but there's no way I could have gone and enjoyed anything at that time. So we're going in July. That being said, I think we're going to try to go to Disney for a day, and that wasn't originally part of the plan, but assuming that we do that, I will be making a little look for Disney that is going to be kind of a Disney bound for those of you that follow Disney bounding. So I'm going to make a look inspired by a character, and if we go, I will be making a look that is Daisy Duck inspired, and I've had this fabric with this plan for a long time, but I haven't been back since. So I would self-draft a skirt, I think, because it's going to be a really easy stretch-on skirt. And I have right here this, it's sort of like a stretch mesh that has this overlaid piece on it that's kind of fringy looking, and it reminded me of duck feathers. So I thought, you know what, a little mini sort of jersey knit style stretch-on, pull-on, you know, I don't know if mini skirt's the right word because I don't go too many, but more of a short skirt with this fabric, I thought would kind of give that feather look. And then for the top, I got some just lavender cotton, and thinking maybe I would pair it with something like Simplicity 9290, this top right here, something kind of simple. It's going to be, I'm sure, hot in July. So this was my thought process, something kind of simple. And I don't have it in here, but something a lot of you may not know is I actually crochet as well. And I have started a crochet bag of a daisy. It's like a little purse that's a daisy. And so that would go with this as well. I've got some pink shoes, some accessories, even my Fitbit, which I never take off. I have a teal Fitbit wrist piece for this because she wears a teal bracelet a lot. So I thought that would be really cute. So I've got kind of this whole look in my mind. So if we do nail that down and decide we're going to go, this will be part of my makes this month. It's just we're trying to nail down if that's happening or not. If it is, then that will probably be my self-draft along with this top for a complete look. Okay, now back to what I started to say about pieces that are sort of in flux for the month. First of all, I am a new Minerva brand ambassador. I am so excited. I love their fabrics. If you haven't checked them out, I will leave a link in the description box for you. And you can follow me on there if you are on Minerva. I really love seeing everyone's makes on there. It's inspiring to see other people create, and it's been a really cool space to be part of. I'm really just so thrilled about the whole thing. So I'm waiting on my fabric to come in for the first make I will be doing for them. And if I can find a picture of the fabric, I'll leave it right here. But I am planning to do a make with that. I don't want to say much more or spoil anything until I actually make it. But if it gets here, that will be on the high priority list for this month as well. Another thing I have mentioned like 3 different months that I was planning on working on, which is why I'm putting this in the hopefully it happens, but we'll see category, is I have had a trench coat pattern cut out for the longest by Helen Castillo, who I am a Patreon member of her. She has some patterns on there, just sort of like what she's up to, all sorts of different things. And I think she's fabulous. I've had it cut forever, and I don't know why it's been one of those things that's just been so hard to actually follow through on. But other things keep taking priority. But I really do want to get that done sooner rather than later. So I hope that ends up part of this month. Okay, and the last make that I would like to do this month, or at least maybe get started on, it would probably be the last thing, so it might actually bend into July, is a long time ago, before we moved here, I took a class locally on eco-printing, using leaves and flowers to print onto natural fibers, and I absolutely just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I bought everything I need to do it. I bought like a special pot just to dye in. I have been saving avocado shells and onion skins in my freezer for a while with this in mind. And I definitely think I have plenty to dye now. And, you know, eco printing, I actually have a little bit of we have a garden in the backyard, and there's a little section that's wildflowers. So I think I want to try to use those wildflowers for the eco printing. And I want to do an eco print dress, and I want to do a base natural dye with the avocado skins, because it gives kind of this very dusty pink, and depending on how heavy you go on the skins, you can get a deeper or lighter color. And there's a lot of different ways you can achieve dyeing with natural dyes. It only works on natural fibers, but a lot of people use like a chemical mordant. I think I'm going to go for all natural using a soy mordant, just because the whole purpose of this for me is I want to just try something super, super as natural as it can get. I do have the chemicals to do the actual chemical mordant as well, but I want to try it with the soy. So I bought a bunch of soybeans. I've been preparing for a while. I have some undyed linen, and I would like to make with that undyed linen that will become dyed to the dusty pink and then printed with the flowers. I would like to take that fabric, take that print, and create the Secret Island dress, which is from Gallia Patterns on Etsy. I will leave a picture, leave a link to everything in the description box. It's been a dress I've had my eye on for a while, and I think it would be really, really beautiful with this vision I have in my mind. But like I said, I feel like this might be an end of the month thing, because it's going to be quite a process to prep the fabric, do the initial dye, then do the actual eco printing with the flowers. But I think the outcome could be really special. And I think July would be a great month for it, because it's going to be a fairly breathable, lightweight dress that's, you know, got a lot of flow to it. It's not got big, heavy sleeves or anything like that. It's very light at the top. The back is open. So I think it would be a good make for that time of the year. So those are my sewing plans for the month. I am also working on a couple crochet things that I will share in a future video as well. I will start kind of sneaking that in here and there for those of you that are also interested in crochet. Sewing's definitely my big medium, but I do really enjoy crochet too, and I take it on the road with me a lot as a way to use textile arts when I'm not at home, and it has been so great to learn. I thought I would learn knitting. I started to learn knitting, and then I was like, oh, those little Woobles kits look fun, and I tried one, and I don't know what happened. I just kept crocheting, so I've got to get back to learning to knit at some point as well, but yeah, I've just kept crocheting, and I really enjoy that as well, so you'll see some of that on the channel in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. It really helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it. Leave a comment. I love chatting with you guys down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new and enjoy this type of content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!